Happy Friday, everybody. It's Mark Coman from Paul's Photo, the lab at Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy. It's day 337 of our Be Creative series. Today, a year ago, I was on top of Mount Kilimanjaro with our group. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Godfrey, for helping me get up there. It was awesome. Thank you, Chuck, for going with us on the trip. That was a year ago. And it made me think of going back to Africa. And I'll have a very special announcement for you guys next week about Africa. That's right. We're going back, and I have some information next week. We'll talk about that. So I pulled out this wonderful tribal mask, and I put it out to make a picture of it. And you can see I have just the living room lights on here, and it's pretty unremarkable, unspectacular. So with just the house lights on, it's not that exciting. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, there's one of the Lytra Pros, and that's giving some great directional light. So I'm going to photograph now. I've got the mask here. I'm f8 ISO 400 at about about a 15th of a second. So I put the plant in the background just as a background. I put a bath towel around the pot because the ceramic pot was reflecting, and I didn't want the reflection. I wanted the background to be matte and dark. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to turn out the house lights. So now all you see is the Lytra Pro light. So it's even a starker picture. It's even a more dramatic scene. So I'm now going to dial in a -1 exposure compensation. And you can see we have a very stark lighting. So in the picture, this side of the face will be normal. This side will be very dark. I want to bring in some extra light. So the easiest way to do that, this is a ProMaster 22-inch reflector. Look at that. And now I can adjust it. You've seen me use a piece of white cardboard before, but this is a lot more precise of a device. See how I can adjust that? That's gold. That's silver. I'm going to use the gold side. It's a little bit softer. Right about there is the light that I want. So I have to hold that while I press the button to take the picture. Powerful. And now, if you notice, this area here is all dark because there's no light in the background. So what did I do? I brought an extra light over here, a second one of the Lytra Pros. Come on, turn off. Oh, it's over here. And you can see how that light gives a rim light here to the subject, gives a little bit of separation, gives a little bit of detail on the plant in the background. So now I'm going to shoot that without the reflector. And I'm going to add the reflector back in, right? Just adding the components of the light. So Cheryl, show them what I'm doing here, how I'm doing this. That's right. So I've got one arm on the reflector, one arm on the camera to shoot. If you have an assistant to hold the reflector for you, and a lot of times assistants are your children or a friend or somebody like that can hold the reflector, life's a lot easier. And then you can get really precise with it. Look at that, how I'm just playing with the light. But by myself like this is pretty cool. So now I want to add some more backlight, rim light here, and give some detail to the plant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on, you can stay on him and see this as it happens. We're kind of tied up here. Yeah. So look what happens now, right? Was that a big difference? Take a look at the guy. What a difference that is to his face. See how adding that third light added dimensionality to him? Oh, this is pretty spectacular. I really like what's going on here. Very cool, right? So now I'm going to bring the reflector back in. Look at that. Beautiful. And now when I look at the picture, come take a look, you can see the depth that we created there by using the different lights. Now, if I look at this real carefully, I think this is too bright on this side. So what am I going to do? I'm going to actually just move this light here and just turn the power down on it. Just going to cut it down a little bit. I've got the reflector. I'm reaching in here. The closer I move it, the stronger the reflector gets. See how that works? Awesome fun. Let's look at the results real quick here, Cheryl. Look at that. See what we've done to that? Wow. What a powerful difference. And just a little bit of playing with light. That's why I like beginners to start with constant lights, because now you can see the light, how it happens. A number of you have asked me, Mark, why don't you use speed lights or strobes or flashes to do this? Well, you can't see the light like this. And as a beginner, it's much easier to work with a subject when you're seeing the light. But all of my subjects for Be Creative have been static, camera on a tripod, non-moving subjects. If we wanted to do people, then we would start talking about strobes and flashes and speed lights. Mark Coman from Paul's Photo, the Lab at Paul's Photo, and the Creative Photo Academy, challenging you again tonight with a different aspect and something new to do with your photography. And let's make a creative picture together.